ॐ ओङ्कारनादब्रह्म अर्धनारीश्वरः श्रीजगद्गुरुनाथ शिवबालयोगेश्वरो परब्रह्म ऋषिः ज्ञानभक्तिवैराग्यसिद्ध्यर्थं भिक्षां देहि च सद्गुरुदेव बान्धवा गुरुभक्ताश्च स्वदेशो गुरुचरणकमलम्. Offering my unconditional surrender, prostrations with deep love and reverence at the lotus feet of beloved Master Shiva Bala Yogi, I greet you all with my love and blessings. Welcome to you all for another session. Points to remember again, thousands of times, but listening one more time so that it can sit in the mind. Important that when you meditate, that you simply watch and do not think through the mind. When you watch, don't bother what you have to watch. You have not been asked what you are supposed to watch. Just the location in between eyebrows you have to watch. Know that when you are watching, you are actually trying not to watch anything but your own self. That is important. The mind has to become quiet. That is the first and foremost important thing.
My pranams at the lotus feet of Swamiji and Sri Babaji. Thank you, Babaji, for giving me this opportunity. And thank you, Simon and Zen, for conducting this session. I'm very fortunate today. Not taking too much time, I just straight want to go to the session of the question and answer. Baba, a few days back, I was reading this book, Yoga Vashishta, and I have thought this several times, but that particular day, it really struck me that yes, mind is never in the present. And the moment it comes into the present, it stops for a while. It stops for a while and it gives the clue of your true being, your true awareness. And that's the point when you feel that, when you connect it to yourself and you feel happy. And I realized that day that when you say that the true happiness, the happiness should be unwavered. It should not waver, because the mind is always, it's like a football. It's goes into the past and regrets something, goes into the future and expect something great, something good. So both the time, mind is always in a battle of past and future. The moment it experiences the presence, it comes to a settlement. So, Baba, is there any technique we can practice this all the time to achieve this happiness and to remain in the presence?
Well, definitely that's what it said. Mind is either brooding about the past or is anxious with expectations about the future. Whereas I have always told about future, you can always plan but need not be anxious. And about the past, it's not going to come back. Only you have to realize if you had committed any mistakes, and if historically there has been any mistake, you learn lessons and you don't repeat them again. This is one thing. And now coming to the technique, throughout the day when you are active, other than meditation, acceptance is one such thing. Acceptance is always in the presence. You accept anything that has happened. It has come to the present. It's already over. To accept the results. That's what Bhagavad Gita, Sri Krishna talks. You don't have any right to results, but you have a right to put in your efforts. Karmanya vadikaraste ma phaleshu kadhajana. So that's what it is. Means acceptance. This is simple understanding. If you can accept and go on doing things, you plan, but you don't have to be anxious. The mind always jumps. If there are expectations, many people might ask you, without expectations, how can we work? You set a target, but the expectation doesn't mean all the moment you have to be in anxiousness. Then put in efforts, remain focused. When you are focused in the presence, when you work, then you can shape a better future also. Thus, your mind shall remain in the presence at all times. It won't bother about the moment that has gone, and it has no anxious about the moment that's going to come. That's what spirituality teaches, to face the moment. When the moment comes, we will see whatever it is. Once it is beyond our capacity, we leave it to the nature, to the divinity, and accept it. So like this, if we do this, is Karma Yoga, and the mind can always remain neutralized into the present. It's one of the easiest way appearing, but it may not be as easy as we said. Acceptance is a very difficult thing. People have expectations and they become anxious, they become tense, stressed out, everything happens. Why this has not happened? Often we go into a head-on collision with this world. World is going on its own. Some super consciousness, supreme consciousness has created, or whatever has happened. It is not we who are handling this universe. So when it is beyond our capacity, we just put an effort and surrender to the divinity. That is the best way to keep the mind neutralized into the present.
Baba, you said the nature, which is a divinity. So does, and the nature takes care. So sometimes we think that the nature will, of course, nature does take care, because there is a one universal law in the nature, works for everyone. There is no duality in the nature. But does this nature, which we see as a divinity, is also illusion, or it's a mental illusion, or the divinity exists and work in a real uniform way?
Divinity definitely exists. The basic clue is your own mind. The mind itself is infinite. Nobody has seen it in naked eyes. It is the mind which visualizes thoughts and visions. It keeps thinking always. It has the ability to be creative. That's why it keeps thinking. Thinking itself is not a problem, but when it goes out of control, it forgets about itself. If mind is a droplet, the ocean of that mind is recognized as divinity. Because in our mind, if we adopt the remembrance or meditation of that divinity, even by imagination also, our mind achieves peace and tranquility. Our sins will be washed away. Unhappiness will be washed away. Sins means, here we have to understand the grave mistake. By forgetting ourselves, by getting too much involved with the thoughts, we have forgotten ourselves. That is a grave mistake. Because of that, all suffering, all happiness, unhappiness, this future, past, all we are getting involved. So if we meditate, so then our mind will merge with the divinity. That is the ultimate truth. That's why it is recognized as divinity, because it can give us supreme peace and wash away our sins. We won't commit any mistakes anymore. We are always aware of the self. We are abiding in the self.
Baba, another thing which, several times has struck me why I asked this past and future, because when you answer, you say, when the body drops, whatever are the acquired habits of the mind, they continue, and they become the sanskaras, or the acquired habits of the mind, which gives or forms a next vision or the next body. So when we acquire the next body based on the previous sanskaras or the karmas, that also a mind in the past, which is carrying on to the future. So it never ends. Means it's the scene is just continuing one after another. So, and the mind is not coming out of the whirlpool.
Yeah, you see, as long as those habits are there, that is carried on to the next life. The mind may not remember exactly what it used to think, what was its attitude, what all it experienced in the world, but in a symbolic way, it carries the habits. So that forms the basic nature of a person. I have always told for this, when parents have different children, they will look after all children equally. Yet different children may pick up different temperaments, attitude, understanding capacity, observation capacity. All these things may vary from person to person because they are bringing the basic nature which forms the nucleus to acquire further karmas, further habits in the mind as we grow up. That's what happened. Now, spirituality, things like sadhana, things like meditation, repetition of the mantras or other sadhanas are all taught so that we control these thoughts and visions that has gone out of control. So we will bring them, we will make all the thoughts and visions dissolve. Then the mind gets neutralized. When it gives up the past, the future also disappears. Future is only in our mind's imagination. Past is only in the memory. That is all. When that memory also has gone, then the thoughts and visions, everything will go away. Based on that only, we pick up the attitudes. For that only, the sadhana, the highest technique that our Guru practiced and gave us in our Guru Parampara, just to watch in between eyebrows. Repeatedly, every time I try to enlighten people that you just watch. You don't do anything. When you are watching, then you stop thinking. All your thoughts and visions will dissolve. Then mind is in the presence. The moment it comes to the presence, it is always in the present. That consciousness of existence at that moment that you would experience is the truth of your own existence. That is supremely peaceful always. Even if it's for a moment, as I have told, you eat an ice cream, but you feel happy. You start thinking that because of this ice cream I am happy. It is not because of the ice cream. Because at that moment, for a moment, the mind stopped. Because the ice cream is pleasant. It is not giving any happiness or unhappiness. It is quiet. It is tasteful. Then the mind becomes quiet. But the same ice cream you go on eating 10, 20, 30, 50, then the ice cream will trouble. The same ice cream you thought that it is giving you happiness, he started giving you trouble. So that's how the things happen. The mind needs to become neutralized by sadhana, by acceptance. Acceptance becomes karma yoga. Whatever happens, it's okay, fine, no problem. When you have the no problem attitude, your mind recedes and becomes quiet. Otherwise, mind gets agitated. Why this happened? Why not something else? Why did this happen? All these problems. So goes into a craving. That cravings will give you unhappiness. So you have to overcome these cravings and make yourself quiet. So that's what the practice of spirituality or meditation, sadhana.
So, Baba, so the whole point is that the past and the future, including the present, is kind of an illusion, and acceptance going on with the everyday routine can make a practice to the mind to keep the mind more neutral. Is it possible? So not to go into the past means consciously not to think about the past, and consciously not to think about the future. Try to remain in the present, everyday duty, keep doing and do the acceptance. Does it help to eradicate all your karmas and keeping the mind quiet? and getting rid of all the acquired habits? Is it possible?
It is possible. It is the mind which experiences all happiness, unhappiness, sufferings, or any such thing by an imagination that I am undergoing this suffering. Why this to me? Why not that? Why this world things are happening like this, which is giving me unhappiness? Why not something else to happen? Because this always will be there. Even if you overcome one problem, another problem crops up, because mind likes and dislikes. When it dislikes, this is a duality. If one is there, another also follows. You overcome one dislike and try to keep whatever you like. But after some time, you will see that you start disliking this one and you want something else higher than that. Like if you have a bicycle, you start disliking bicycle, you want a motorcycle. Once you get the motorcycle, you start disliking the motorcycle, want a car. Like that, it goes on and on and on, never ending, these things. And that is why the mind experiences unhappiness all the time. There is a craving, unhappiness. You have $10, you need 100. You have 100, you need 1,000. You have 1,000, you need 10,000. This is never ending. So this is what the mind always expectation. It wants more and more and more. It is unable to stop. That's why it wants more and more. Once it can become quiet, this quietness happens when it is totally contented. If you know, the contentment is the most elusive thing that a human needs to achieve. It is never contented. It wants more and more. More you give, it gives you more thirsty. So more and more, that's what it wants. So once you accept the thing, and then everything is surplus. Like I have given the example long ago, since 50 years I keep giving the experience. 50 years ago when I came to this ashram, when my guru sent me to look after, my imagination was very less, a small cottage type of things, which is a hut, you mean. What I mean is, and a peaceful atmosphere, quietness, tranquility is there, that's all. But when I came here, I saw this was big palatial building that a royal queen had donated this property to our Guru Shiva Bal Yogi, who vested this into a trust. So this became so surplus. I expected only $10. God gave me $10,000 type. But if I had imagination and expected much more bigger presidential palace or the emperor's palace, then this would have been small. Oh God, this land is very small and this building also small. I wish this could have been 10 acres, 20 acres. So like that, when the expectations go, nothing is surplus. Everything is less and less. But when you are contented, your imagination is as less as possible. You are at peace and everything is surplus. Before also people lived when there were no cars, when there were no petrol, no oils, no electricity. They lived, they studied, they worked well. Everything in the country's world was going on. People traveled in different ways. Simply as the inventions, discoveries went on and on, what we can see is humans have become more and more weak. The same way, the spiritual exercises also, meditation was the highest technique practiced since ancient time. But people wanted a little more easier. So like that, it started losing its strength. The more easier you give, the person wanted more easy. We tell you can sit in any comfortable posture and just meditate. But still people want more easier. Can I lie down and meditate? One even asked, if I sleep, does that amount to meditation? How can that happen? So, if you close your eyes, will it amount to you eating your food? No. You have to work and earn your food. And you have to meditate and earn your peace. Peace also is very valuable. You have to earn your peace. When you abide by yourself, when you practice this meditation, when you practice sadhana, when you overcome the effect of past and future, because this past and future are in the imaginations, in the memory, which troubles you always. The past brooding will be, oh, how nice my childhood was, how nice I had this, how nice, oh, how bad that person worked injustice to me. It's so difficult to let go. This is another question people ask. How to let go the past? It is troubling me. I was subjected to injustice. All these things happen. So that is what is necessary for one to overcome. Then you can achieve total peace and happiness.
Baba, little away deviated from the main topic. You said that people ask you if they can lie down and meditate. According to the means, everything has a concept and everything has a structure. So according to the Patanjali, Patanjali says that, yam, niyam, ahar, pratyahar, dharan, dharana, dhyan and samadhi. So one of the thing is that you have to sit straight and keep your neck straight to keep the mind focused. If you lie down, it's not possible.
Yeah,
So
that means you see, yam niyam is all that determination, discipline,
Yes.
and adopting such methods.
It's not possible, Babaji, and it's not possible that can anyone say that I come to the office and lay down and do the work? Not possible. So it's one of the I say meditation is one of the toughest thing, because you have to control your mind, and laying down is no solution, and there is no sadhana in that. Another thing, one Babaji, it says the mind has weakened so much. The mind is so much weakened that it doesn't want to leave its comfort zone.
Easy expectations. It wants everything as an instant coffee. In one of the gatherings, a person asked me a question. Just like we get instant food, why can't this self-realization happen as an instant food? I told him, when you have money in your account, when you have a credit card, then you get a fast food. No father-in-law gives you a free food for you in any restaurant, keeping and waiting for you. That doesn't happen. To earn that money, you are ready to work for 8 hours, 10 hours, 12 hours, as that company wants to squeeze out from you, because they pay salary when you earn. For a business, you are ready to sit day in and day out and night and any time. You don't even want to go for food to home, but you want to, if you can earn some money in that hour. So that is the thing that's so important, but things doesn't come easily. But if you are determined, if you can adopt such discipline, then it is not really impossible. It can come. Why can't that happen? We all practice. Since childhood we practiced. So that was going on and on and on. So if that is there, anything is not impossible.
So Babaji, is it possible for a one droplet, for one Jivatma to experience the two different worlds at the same time, or having, just like the story of Leelavati, that she experiences her husband, one body is dead body lying in her house, and she's seeing her husband in the another palace. So is it possible for a one human being, one droplet or one mind, to experiencing two different worlds in two different dimensions, or is it also just a story or an illusion created by the mind?
These stories have been narrated to explain how an illusion can happen, how the time and space are simply our own imaginations. Whatever we imagine, we get to see the same. For Leelavati, in her imagination, husband was dead 8 days before and the body was there. She also imagined, her mentally it got projected by Goddess Saraswati, who came and she had the vision that her husband was already born. So whether this was true or whatever it is, she got to the vairagya, detachment, and realized the self finally. That's how she understood that finally the self is the only real thing. Illusion has no limits. It can be anything. I have always told it is very mind-boggling. You cannot track the next birth. You cannot remember the previous birth. It is all very mind-boggling. It's only in the mind. What you are now is the most important thing. You as that eternal entity, that consciousness of existence. Like when your mind is not into any type of imagination, then that is pure consciousness. That existence is the real truth of existence. Because that has not been imagined by you, that existence. Anything else you have imagined and the appearance is there. That's why I always tell it has only appearance value, this universe. Only you as that ultimate truth has the existence value.
Yeah, Babaji, time means the entire time, unless there is another relativity, it's an illusion, it's a concept. Means just like you said, that unless you realize your own self, everything else is an illusion. So even that says that even in the present, when I think as I am, this body, this is an absolute illusion of my mind.
Yes, definitely whatever the mind thinks, the things start appearing to that mind, that as the truth. See, the amount of consciousness that is stuck into this body, and we always think that I am this body, I am this personality, my name is like this, I am this, I have this status. All those things we imagine, and that appears to be so solid and truth. It's not easy to remove. To remove that only, you have to do meditation and tapas. But one need not be scared or panicked about tapas. It is not that such an impossible thing that humans cannot achieve. Any human can achieve. Step by step. Don't think of the top of the Mount Everest in one go. One step at a time. Slowly, start climbing. Don't keep simply gossiping and standing at the foothills. Start climbing. That is sadhana. Then one day you will definitely be on top of the mountain. It is possible. So that is how step by step. Every day you practice half an hour, 30 minutes you can take out. 1 hour you can take out in 24 hours. That's not very difficult. A little bit determination and decision you need. You need to understand that you need that exercise. It is for yourself. You will take out 1 hour, half an hour, 2 hours to do cooking and eating food, everything. If you need a medicine also, you will take out time. You cannot tell that I don't have time to take medicine. But how will the illness be cured? That you understand. I told, if you realize there is a time bomb under your chair, first thing you will go out of way to save yourself. You won't think, do I have time to get out of this chair, or I don't have time? Should I be sitting? All these things is not possible then. Simply get out, you will. That's what will happen. So we have to understand the need. We all are looking for peace. So much of conflict is there today in this world. So much of fighting, so much of killing, so much of things. One side, the nature is there because the nature is impermanent. Universe, whatever we get to see. Because of that, calamities like earthquake, tsunami, anything can happen. Anything is possible any moment. We have to accept. We have to try to protect ourselves, defend ourselves. But the most saddest part is destruction, human destructive mind, human killing each other, human troubling each other, unable to understand about each other. If one wants to live in peace, the another doesn't want to leave that person to live in peace. They will trouble. We want to live in peace, but somebody wants to completely take away and cut our head. Then we are getting involved into a conflict. We have no choice. It has been imposed on us. So all this can be avoided if we practice meditation and if we know ourselves, if we abide by ourselves. So that is the beauty. Then we will have overcome all the future and past anxiousness and brooding things. That's what it is. We can plan a future. We can shape a better future. But that happens in the present. When you are better focused, concentrated, when we put an effort in the present, only that can shape the future. not simply the imagination of the future. Planning the future is all right. These two things are different. We should not simply daydreaming, but the daydreaming must happen so that we are unable to sleep until we don't achieve that.
To live in the world, you need your mind to be fully alert. Fully alert. I know meditation can help you to be alert in the world also. But at the same time, when you meditate, when you pursue sincerely the spiritual life, and you want to see goodness and happiness everywhere around you, but still the conflicts of the world are not leaving you in the peace. So how to juggle that?
First thing, we must realize we cannot depend on this universe, world, earth for our peace and happiness. We cannot depend on anybody else, on anything else for peace and happiness. Peace is in the self. When you are quiet, you have peace, self-realization. When you are able to abide in yourself, you drive a car, you will have peace when you come back and stop it in the garage. You think, you plan, no problem. But you need to stop when you don't need to think. You need to have peace also. Otherwise, you will never get peace if mind is into craving all the time. You may lose your sleep, you may lose your rest, you cannot relax and you have to hold on your head. Everything keeps happening. So that's what you have to practice. Learn to stop yourself. Enough. Let us stop. We don't need this.
Do the past and future exist for a yogi?
It doesn't, because his mind has been neutralized. It is always in the quietness. As Ramana Maharishi has told, this is what we experienced. Now I understand what was my guru's status used to be. Though he used to talk, he used to scold, he used to shout, anything. But his consciousness we could see. He was quiet. In moments he would have forgotten, like he would shout at us. He would ask me to get out, not to show his face at all. Once we used to come out of his room, go around the ashram, come back. He would have forgotten. Nothing used to be in his mind. As if you write on a white paper and it gets instantly erased. That's what we experience. There is nothing. Even if we are gossiping a lot, as Ramana Maharishi says, such a yogi's consciousness is the ever silent one. That's what we experience. Even if I am talking any topic, no problem. But my consciousness does not dramatize or picturize or run anything. Nothing happens. It is totally quiet. It all gets erased. That's why to revive, I have to remember again and again. If I have to deal with some topic, some situation, something I need to handle, so that becomes a little bit difficult. I have to keep reviving. So that's what happens. Otherwise, it is quiet and it is neutralized. So no anxiousness about the future, no visualization of the future. It is all myths that people want to see what's going to happen in the future. Shri Krishna says that there is no such thing called future, Arjuna. Nobody knows what the result of this war is going to be. But today, in this moment, you have to do your duty. It has been imposed and you fight. No problem. Let the result happen. The soldier knows he will do or die. He doesn't bother about the result. He doesn't know what will happen, whether he will get killed or he will be able to kill the enemy. But he goes with all valor, with all enthusiasm. That's an opportunity for him to show his courageous valor. So that's what is important. The same way yogi also does not make any judgment about anybody, who is good, who is bad. Whoever does whatever it is, they will undergo that karma. If you eat poison, you will die. If you can eat nectar, you will live forever. So that is anybody's karma. But yogi has nothing to do in these things. He is in the self. You imagine, all of you are educated. A yogi is a yogi when he consciously abides in the self at all times. If he passes on resolution in his mind, tries to visualize the future, tries to think about another's mind, tries to know what this person is thinking, then he has lost that consciousness settling into the self. He slips down from the self.
Yes.
He loses that abiding in the self. Where is the yogi?
Yes.
He is not a yogi at all then.
Yeah, I fully understand that. Means then the duality comes and then the self is disappeared. And then it's not possible. Means either you are self-realized or you're not.
Yes.
And no one can give you that certificate that you are in you exist in yourself or you exist in the world. No one
Yeah.
can give a certificate to you.
Who doesn't know what self-realization means? How can he certify somebody?
Can you certify? Baba, my next question was, but you have already answered, but still I want to ask, does the karmic function work for a yogi also or not?
He has no suffering because his mind has stopped, his consciousness has stopped. The world goes on, it is the same. His body also will grow and become old, and one day it will get dropped. But in his consciousness, he has not adorned any body at all. It is like sleepwalking for him in this world, for any yogi. So he won't have any such imagination. One day simply the body gets dropped. And he is already in the self. He is going to be in the self.
Baba, does the body of a yogi or like Swamiji had to go through certain kind of suffering or certain kind of problems in his life because of others, he had to face those things, and same thing happened to you also. Your physical body, I'm not talking about you mentally get affected, but physically you did have certain troubles created by others. Was that those troubles were your karmic functions, or it was just happened around you just because you are in that scene, or because of someone else's karma around you?
Because there is nothing in the mind, actually, a yogi does not experience any such thing. He doesn't even think this was a karma, this was a prarabdha, any such thing. Simply, it happens. Just like the sun rises and a full moon day moon is there, all nature is there. This body is there and it will go. It is troubleshooter, it suffers, it has illness, it has this, somebody trouble, somebody praises, somebody criticizes, somebody is very helpful. So all these things, it is all nature, simply keep happening. So yogi has nothing to do with this thing and he doesn't mind anything. Hey,
That's
when I tell doesn't mind, don't try to trouble me, man. I will defend. Because that is also not in the mind.
Yes. Baba, when you see the world, do you see it like functioning like us? Someone is good, someone is bad, somebody is troubling someone, or you just see it, it's just like a functioning happening automatically.
It's amusing. It's amusing. Sometimes think the same self is everywhere, yet because of the brain's effects, you see how it's behaving, how it is thinking about others or itself also, how the ego crops up. All these are all troubleshooters. Everything happens. It's amusing sometimes.
Yeah. My last question, Baba. The mind, again, I'll say that its creation is amazing. It can create anything, but it can create monster also. Even in our Purana, in our stories, it comes that so many, like they say, the Shiva created Bhasmasura. And ultimately, it died of the god's hand on his head. So this means this whole cycle of the mind, even if the mind doesn't exist, then how this creation goes on? There are so many souls, so many jivatmas are erupting. The population of the world are just increasing like so rapidly. So if the mind doesn't exist, so these crops, this human
Yes.
mind,
There is really no conclusive answer to be truthful to the divinity, to be truthful to the real self. Likely what happens, because the consciousness or the supreme consciousness has the ability to create, it is creative, and it has the energy. It is the combination of both supreme consciousness and energy. That is what is the concept of Shiva and Shakti. So due to this presence, always only a portion of the absolute creates, if at all the creation happens. As it is, the whole divinity doesn't happen at all to create. It is simply exists in itself. In Mahasamadhi that is told. So in the beginning, whenever creation happens, it creates and then it doesn't get involved. It remains in the self. Still then it is divinity. But somewhere, sometimes the path is lost. They forget and they become insecure, power, status, everything happens, conflicts happen. Then the consciousness gets involved. And it gets carried away. You never know so many lives. So finally, you cannot find a reason why and how and when this happened. It's very, very impossible. Right?
This answer, sorry, very last question has come to me. So the world you exist and I exist are the same, or it's the my world is created by me and the world you exist is only a pure awareness, and the my world, which is I see suffering, pain, happiness, unhappiness, past bad memories, future anxiousness, it's my world, but your world is just a peace.
Yeah, in the consciousness it is supreme peace. But if somebody prays to a yogi, he becomes compassionate. If it is brought to his conscious notice, somebody is suffering, you need to bless, you need to pray for them, then a yogi blesses them. Automatically they receive the blessing. That means if one has a faith and devotion, so they look for a yogi's blessing, that automatically goes to them, whoever has got the faith. So these are all finally not easy to define or give conclusive answers. It's very, very mind-boggling. That's why the sages used Ananta, it is boundless. Boundless. You just take care that your mind stops. Just learn to watch in between eyebrows. Do not delay. A beautiful physical body is available for all of you. Once in a life cycle opportunity. You take care for that. Don't keep bothering for so many other things. It happens, it happens. It will not happen to you if you become quiet. It's your choice.